Welcome. I'm here with my favorite co-host
Your only co-host?
and my only co-host, Carol Peterson, and I'm Corrine Fernari. And we're talking about, sounds like an oxymoron, but guess what? It isn't. Progesterone for men. And we're going to talk about how that balance affects male sexuality. Carol, where should we begin in this subject?
Well, I would like to say something about the structure of testosterone and progesterone. There's a 4-ring structure that starts out with cholesterol. And from there, we make the adrenal hormones, the sex hormones, etc. If you look at the structure of progesterone and you look at the structure of testosterone, it looks pretty close. And it's because of that closeness in structure, and hormones do overlap into other receptors. It was theorized that if you use progesterone in men, it's going to block their testosterone receptors and make them lose their libido and sexual function. However, it doesn't seem to be true. Testosterone and progesterone are both acted on by an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. And testosterone gets converted to its more active form, dihydrotestosterone. Quite anabolic, quite nice, actually. But if there's no progesterone for that enzyme to be working on, you get a lopsided situation with higher androgen things and possibly leading to some of the side effects with testosterone production or supplementation in men, where you start seeing a lot of red blood cells and high hemoglobin and high hematocrit. One of the side effects of taking testosterone. I would submit, if you were doing this on a balanced fashion and supply the progesterone, also when you're using testosterone, it's going to be more balanced. So why would men be low in progesterone? They would be low for the same reason we're low. Women are low. We have too much stress to cope with, and our adrenal glands in both sexes make a lot of progesterone. So as time goes on, that progesterone is simply converted to deal with the stress and help cortisol and derivatives.
Mm-hmm.
So you can be quite deficient in progesterone as a man if you lead a very stressful life. So it's that balance that needs to be there. And thus far, many places provide men with testosterone supplementation, but they totally ignore progesterone. Green, but
There's there's quite a few things. First of all, I'm going to be a little bit of a devil's advocate. Cholesterol, we all know it's bad.
no.
No. Well, here we are, and we're in a very active, aggressive way suppressing our cholesterol. But yet you're saying these hormones, our steroid hormones, are made with the base of cholesterol. So is one of the things that's interfering with our ability to make our hormones the fact that we're working so actively to suppress our cholesterol? We're doing it in the intestines, we're doing it in the brain, we're doing it in the liver. We're attempting to block our cholesterol.
It's a horrible thing to do to yourself.
Well, it's very much a suppressive of hormones. And then what happens once you suppress the cholesterol? What happens? You have multiple effects, and many of them documented, from depression to fatigue to neuron pain, to nerve pain, into the feet, into the arms, into the legs. What protects our nerves? Progesterone and pregnenolone. Very well protected through the Schwann cells, through the cells which create a sheet around our nerves. And so there's that. But then another side effect that it should have been documented, but these are not being well released or advertised, is low libido. Males get lower libido when their hormones are out. Women get low libido when their hormones are out. Men and women. And we're dealing with them. The progesterone could be the pivotal point that this is what this is then being focused on. Progesterone increases circulation. First of all, it protects the nerves. So everything you feel more sensitive because your nerves are being protected. So you could feel more sexually sensitive also. But also it increases circulation. And so you have more circulation flow into our organs, into our feet, into our brain. So looking at progesterone as a base of this and therefore lack of as one of the causes of the problems that we're seeing with low libido, low sexuality, erectile dysfunction can very much be attributed to, or a very important piece of it can be low progesterone. What do you think of that, Carol?
I think it's something that we need to explore, and we'd like to urge everybody to ask your doctor about it. Ask about progesterone. Do a little homework. We've got more information on our websites, and see if progesterone wouldn't help mitigate those symptoms of progesterone deficiency.
So that's one thing we want both men and women to look at. Remember, this is a bi hormone, male and female. Both need this hormone in abundant amounts for a sense of well-being.